My engagement with my partner is ruined because of a ring. My partner and I have been together for 3 years. We both love each other since the very beginning. She has brought up the topic of marriage for a while, so I decided to propose to her last month in Korea where she grew up. I custom made the gold ring with ruby and 3 diamonds on each side, but asked my parents to make it with their regular jewelry shop they've been going to for a while, out of town. I also organized a professional photographer and asked her to marry me in a traditional Korean village. She said yes, and everything went smoothly, except the ring was too big. She stayed a bit longer in Korea while I returned home for work. She went with her mom to a jewelry shop the following week and asked to make the ring smaller. The issue started when the shop attendant said the ring, the gold, ruby, and diamonds, was fake. I paid $1,500 for the ring, which is not a crazy amount, but I thought it was pretty. She went to 4 different shops, and everyone said the same thing. One shop valued the ring at only $30-40. My partner and her mom were understanding initially, saying we would not have known. When she returned from Korea, she told me that her parents were very upset about the ring, and that my parents, because they made the ring, only valued her $30. They refused to meet my parents, which had been initially scheduled for the end of the year. Her mom told her it would be better if I admitted to the fake ring to buy a proper one in the future. This implied that we gave her a fake ring on purpose. My parents were distraught and told me that they wouldn't bless our marriage. Question: is the ring the problem here? I'm trying to figure out how to move forward now. I never knew a ring could potentially break our 3-year-long relationship. Edit. None of us knew it was fake. A few days ago, I tested it with an X-ray at a pawn shop. The gold is real. I'm still trying to figure out the ruby and diamonds. Suppose anyone is curious about what the ring looks like. I have apologized multiple times and shown them the receipt. We are both Asians. Families play a significant role in our marriage. TLDR. Proposed to my girlfriend with a fake ring. Her parents accused us of doing it intentionally. My parents get upset and don't want us to continue. Relevant comment. Pixatron32 said, exactly what I was thinking. Your parents have snuck away with the money and given you a cheap ring, and now they are trying to distract you from their wrongdoing. Even if they didn't do it on purpose, and the real culprit is the jeweler your family uses, your parents, and you, should try to understand where the scam was done and take steps to resolve this issue with your fiancé's family. Anyone would be upset about a fake ring and the insinuation of its meaning and value, mainly more traditional or culturally significant families. You're getting upset over the wrong thing. I'd like you to focus on understanding the scam and the culprit. Could you send receipts to your fiancé of how much you spent to let them know your intention was real? I'm not sure how many rings are in Korea, but $1,500 won't get a lovely ring, diamonds with clarity, or fire. Your central gem is a ruby, which should have helped you cut costs. Ultimately, you fucked up because you didn't get this done correctly and arranged it to be done by your parents. Take accountability and make steps for reparation, solving the issue with your fiancé and her family. OOP answered, thanks. This is precisely what I'm looking for. I sent them the receipt and checked the gold in the ring, which was real. I will put the diamonds and the ruby in the lab next week. I think the trust has been broken, and it's now about how I restore and build the trust again. I initially asked them to make it because the shop is a small business and local to us. They offer flexibility, and the fee is cheaper than the big brands. My partner and I are into FIRE, financial independence, retiring early. So I try to get a good value for everything. Update 6 days later, where my fiancé's parents were upset and accused my parents of intentionally giving a fake engagement ring. I tested it in the lab, and it's a natural ruby from Burma. They can guarantee the result and can offer an insurance letter. They said a natural crack in the ruby and natural inclusion. A jeweler expert can probably shed some light on what these mean. Unfortunately, my parents are more upset about the accusation because the ring is now genuine. On the other hand, my fiancé's parents don't trust the result. This is a significant trust issue. We decided to let things settle before we discussed our intention of staying together and getting married. Question: do you have any suggestions on how to approach this situation? TLDR: the ruby is a genuine natural ruby. Additional information from OOP. I'm sorry for the delay so far. As I wrote in my previous post, I initially apologized to them, thinking it was a fake ring. I asked if she defended me in front of her parents when they were upset. It didn't sound like it. She paused for 20 seconds before saying she did her best to calm them down. I'm more inclined to break up, but I pull the trigger. She has many good traits I value, but I see what's happening now as a significant issue. I seem always to give in and follow what she wants. I went to Korea for the proposal because of her high expectations. She wanted a surprise proposal like what you see on social media. I spent 3 months trying to figure out what I had to do. To add to the context, she wanted to avoid joining my family's gatherings. For example, she didn't attend my sister's wedding because she wanted a holiday with her family. However, she did give her a lovely wedding gift. My family didn't like her even before this happened. They didn't hate her in any way, and there was no intention to make the ring fake. It's tested real anyway. Relevant comments. Someone said, "Thank you for the update. Well done, you did everything right. And now you know. It's not about the ring. It probably never was. Her family will be impossible to please because they have just decided they don't like you. They will now look for another reason to hate you. So it comes down to you and your fiancé, as it should have always done." What does she think? Does she understand how you are the victim here? Does she know how her parents are actively trying to sabotage your relationship with her? Is she prepared to be independent from them, ignore their advice, defy them, take your side, and marry you? Is she on your side? I think allowing her a couple of weeks before having that discussion is a good idea if she is living with you, but a bad idea if she is living with her parents. Her parents are pouring poison into her ears about you because OOP answered, "Thank you. She lives with me. We have been living together for 2 years. She said the result doesn't matter, but I do believe it matters. It shows how her family resolves conflicts should they arise. I should clarify that the result no longer matters because she believes it's fake. No matter what tests we did, the jeweler stores in Korea said it was manufactured, and she considered them. Those were her own words." Story 2. My parents treated me, 21 female, very severely, and I cut them off. Now, they want a new beginning. Sorry if this is long. I have a non-identical twin sister. The two of us couldn't be any more different. She is lucky enough to be very beautiful and tall and very good-looking. She has always ticked every box on her looks. I wasn't so fortunate. I wasn't on the beautiful side and was shorter. Right now, I'm 5'1", and she's 5'8". She was also better at making friends and being sociable, while I was always her awkward sister. Now, I know I'm on the autism spectrum, but I was only diagnosed 2 years ago. My parents never bothered with that. Now, none of these make my parents horrible. What makes them awful is the way they treated me and my sister. They always treated her like she was an angel and treated me like I was a loser. This goes back as early as we were 4 years old. For every 20 pictures of her childhood, they have maybe 2, 3 of mine. They have over 10 times as many pictures of her, and most of mine are of both of us. She always got attention from everyone, and I got none. Parents spent much more money on her too. Say if they wanted to spend $100 on clothes, $80 goes to her, and $20 to me. Their reasoning has always been that she's more beautiful, and it's worth spending more on her as she gets a lot more attention while nobody looks at me anyway, so why bother with better clothes? They have told me that many times. I was on a sports team, but they never once came to see me playing while they saw my sister cheerleading every week. Could you extend this to everything? And you know the story of my life. I hated every second of my childhood. I hated my sister. Yes, I know none of this was her fault. I worked on myself with a therapist, so I no longer feel any hate, blame toward her. Since I was 15, I was counting the days until I became 18, and could leave and never come back. And that's what I did. That's the age at which you can leave home without your parents' consent where we live. I went home the day after my 18th birthday, the night before my parents threw a birthday party for us, well, for her. Their gift for her was a $1,000 gift card from a luxury designer brand. For me, a $100 gift card for a bookstore, arguing that this $100 gives me the same level of ability to buy the things I like, books, as that $1,000 would to her, expensive clothes. Okay, their logic. They knew I was considering leaving but had no idea I wanted out as soon as possible. I went that day. They asked me to stay and allow them to help, but I said, "I've had enough of you. Leave me alone." I never made any contact with them after that. As soon as I could, I moved to another city to get even as far away as I wouldn't say I liked that city too. They texted me for a while, but I have yet to answer or reply, and I will eventually change my number. I had also removed them from all my social media. I set it so that if they sent me any emails, it would automatically get deleted, and a reply, automatically deleted, "Do not waste your time," would be sent. That's the current status of things on my side. 2 days ago, my dad sent me a message on Facebook. I initially intended to delete it, but opened it and started reading. This was the first message in months from them. He explained that he understood that they were not good parents and they did a lot of wrong. But we could start over. He asked if I could come over for dinner at some point so we all could get to know each other better. I am still waiting to respond. Should I give them another chance or just delete this message and not look back? TL.R. Parents treated me much worse than my twin sister because she is more beautiful. I left right after my 18th birthday and ceased all contact. Now they want a new beginning after 3 years. First update, 7 days later. Thanks for your comments and suggestions there. They were super helpful and helped me see things a lot more clearly. Love you all. This is a big update and something quite shocking. I've got to go back to my therapist. Before I get to it, many of you asked about my relationship with my sister. Well, there's no relationship. I spent all my childhood hating her and never really had an excellent relationship with her. She was not like my parents, but they spoiled her, and she always saw herself as the better of us. I'm unsurprised. I don't even blame her right now. On the day I was leaving, I hugged her and told her that we could have been sisters if we had different parents. It's not how it turned out in this life, but perhaps we can make up for it later. I told her that if she wanted to talk to me about this, she could call me, and we could meet. She never called me. As it appeared from the last post, I went to talk to my therapist about this, and she suggested that I initiate some conversation and see how it goes. Based on her assessment, she was happy if I wanted to go and see them. I just need to understand there's no obligation to go or stay. Good. I replied to my father's message with this: "Hi, Dad. And I would appreciate an answer so we can have a chance to start over seriously. Why? I'm hoping for an honest answer. No why what? No come and let's talk in person or anything of that sort. Just give it to me straight. Believe me, I can handle reading it if you could. I'm not ready to start over if you're unwilling to provide me with that." He returned to me the next day with a lengthy message explaining why. Let's get right to it. He told me that he and my mom wanted a child and only one child, as they didn't have the resources and energy to have more than one. They realized that we're twins, that screwed up everything and made them sad rather than happy. They decided to give one of us up for adoption. They looked around and even found a couple. In case you wondered, I was the one they chose to give away because I was smaller and my eyes weren't blue. Yeah, that's how you decide which one of your kids to keep. They arranged everything, even took me to them, but that couple bailed out before signing the papers when they saw me and my sister. Their conscience couldn't handle separating twin sisters like this. After this, they looked for some couples, and nobody seemed willing to adopt one of the twin sisters. They entertained the idea of putting me into foster care, but they couldn't live with themselves if they did. I think that says a lot. Stranger couples, who so badly wanted to adopt a child, couldn't be heartless enough to separate twin sisters. But their fucking parents tried to do it. It's beyond me. So they had to raise me themselves, and they didn't enjoy it at all. In their minds, the fact that they didn't put me into foster care was a favor in itself, more than what I deserved, and that's why they never cared to do more for me. Their full time and resources belonged to my sister, and the small part of it that got to me, they saw as me taking what was my sister away. That's how they saw me. No wonder my childhood turned out the way it did. He said that profound inside, they always knew what they were doing was wrong, but could never step up and do the right thing during these 18 years. Why not? They thought that changing the dynamic would negatively affect my sister, as she's now used to being offered more time and resources, and I'm used to not getting it, so making it more equal would be a luxury for me and a pain for her. They thought that it was not fair for my sister to be in pain for the sake of my luxury, Again, their logic, I don't even know what to say to that. Ever since I left, Mom and Dad are having trouble. My sister is off to college, and they're alone now with all the time in the world to think about what they did. They've been to marriage counseling, and according to him, that has helped them see everything now and see how cruel they were to me. He says they want to start over and make up for all of it if I'm prepared to allow them. This is quite shocking for me. This explains why my childhood turned out the way it did. I'm going to be honest. I wished they had given me away for adoption. I do. I could have been with adoptive parents who wanted me rather than with biological parents who never did. I still don't believe that they have changed, though. This can be the result of my sister, their golden child, being away and not spending as much time with them, and them trying to replace her with me. I don't want to do that, but I don't know. I've got to talk to my therapist. Please give me your opinions again. You guys were so helpful to me last time. Your help means a lot. TL.dar. Dad opened up about how they wanted to put me up for adoption, and they couldn't find a couple to agree to separate twin sisters. That was how they decided to treat me during my childhood. They say they're getting counseling, see the wrong in them, and want to make up for it now. That's it. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of the month. If you watched until here, make sure to comment what you think.